This is funny. This is funny. Watch. So Camille's at the sidebar. I mean, look at the camaraderie. Look how much they just love him. You know, I just love his team. And then watch. She sees it, irritated, looks at her group of people. She's like, they fucking suck. My team sucks. His is better. This is bullshit. You're done. You're done.
And the best part of this plan is, no one can stop me.
Today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid 3.
Oh, you can't understand me. That's, okay. You can't understand me. How about you call her? C-A-L-L. Call her. Why don't you pick up the phone?
In my own time, I will.
F-O-N-O. Why don't you pick up the phone?
F-O-N-O.
Yeah. El Fono. And call her. God, if only I could spell it out for you.
Oh, I wish you
Well, words are so hard for me.
could.
Let me try again. F-O-N-N? F-O-N-E, sorry. Silly me.
If you think Amber is a bad actress now, this is how she was like in the previous
grabs
case.
my head, takes a fistful of my hair and says, I hit your eye, huh? Let me see your eye. Let me see your eye. What if I pull your hair back? And he's got me by the hair and it's hard to describe. It's like yanking me side to side with my hair. Is it your testimony? Calm things.
Verse is from? InsideTheMagic.com.
Some people may be surprised that anyone would examine or cross-examine a witness and the source is not a source that is clearly reliable. It's not something that couldn't be refuted. But what you need is a good faith basis to ask the question. And a lot of times witnesses will concede things as long as you had that good faith basis. Now it's up to the judge to decide, and of course the lawyer ethically to decide, do they have that good faith basis? But if something is published and you have reason to believe it may be true, you still have the ability to ask the question. Now, if you get called out in some way on that, you could lose credibility. So you want to be very careful as you start walking into that. If this gets challenged, is this something I know will hold up? Is it worth the risk?
You committed domestic violence against Miss Van Reed during your relationship, didn't you?
No, I did not.
You assaulted her at a Seattle airport in 2009, didn't you?
No, I did not.
And people saw that.
That's not true.
And it was covered in the press. Isn't that true?
It was planted in the press by Johnny's team 2 days after I got the TRO. Not coincidentally.
Can you please pull up?
It also says a mobile nourished male.
Right. I have no idea what that means.
I think this medical record's missing a lot of things.
Yeah. It doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Probably because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Heard?
I disagree with you on that.
Do you recall? I'm trying.
Listen, what law school did you graduate from? I would love to take a look at your law degree.
Take a breath and answer me.
Sometimes you're the windshield and sometimes you're a bug. Today you were the bug. Bye.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard?
Yo, did you pay your bill?
Yeah, I received the bill.
Well, yeah, but did you pay the bill? Yeah, I received the bill.
I use received and paid synonymous with each other. They mean the same thing.
No, we're not talking right now. Course of session. Thank you.
It can be hard being a judge. You have to monitor all of these people who are talking about different things.
You got everyone standing up in the back, so the judge either just got on the bench or was just about to leave the bench. Now you have other people trying to talk. You have a record you have to keep. You don't want anyone saying something that can cause an entire appeal on something that wasn't even supposed to be talked about at that point. Being the judge on any case can be really hard. Being it on this case is probably much, much more difficult.
I had not remembered seeing the bottle. No, it was a normal bottle. I remember because he was holding it like this. I didn't have a memory of seeing it. It was liquor. It took me a minute to respond because I had not remembered seeing the bottle. Clear. This trip to promote his movie, I went with him. We got in an argument in the hotel room. It broke my heart. Broke my heart. I wanted to marry him so bad. This is the man I love.
Did Johnny give you that bruise on your face? Did Johnny beat you up?
Stop.
Did Johnny brutalize you?
Stop.
Amber?
I remember hating.
And you perpetuate the fight. You perpetuate it when you run away. You start it when it could just be a petty argument. And you make it not a petty argument because you run away.
Avoid fights. And by the way...
Yeah, let's be perfect.
And by the way...
Why aren't we just perfect? Why don't we just live in make-believe? Go fucking suck my dick, you fucking cowardless, ballless piece of shit. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
You ever punch Johnny Depp with a closed fist in the history of your relationship?
Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor, leading.
Your Honor, she absolutely did that. Medical records too.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I'm trying. To your nose.
Objection, leading. Foundation, hearsay.
Records with the ENT.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
Discovery.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation calls for speculation.
About your nose.
Objection, Your Honor, hearsay. Objection, leading.
Recall that
Objection, Your
question.
Honor, leading. Objection, leading and hearsay. Objection, Your Honor, this is outside the scope of cross-examination.
Backless dress.
Objection, Your Honor.
I
Leading
think I can bring
calls for
that out.
speculation, calls for speculation and hearsay and lack of foundation.
Is your recollection examination. This in discovery, is that true?
Wait. I am with child. Yours.
I don't recall that we ever had...
You were drunk.
I've actually never been that drunk.
So they did, and it was ordered. So Johnny alleges that Amber's pictures showing her injuries were modified or altered. The court on November 8th of 2021 ordered that Amber has to turn over all of her pictures showing injuries, her laptops, mobile devices, iPads, etc., to Johnny's forensic expert for imaging. And she was supposed to do that by November 30th of 2021. Well, that deadline came and went. She missed it. Some stuff was later produced in early March, but not the pictures at issue. So Johnny's team did file a motion for sanctions with the court, asking that the court sanction Amber for failing to obey that order. And they actually asked for 3 remedies. 1, payment of all of the money that Johnny had to pay to his expert, which was over $40,000. 2, that none of the pictures showing her alleged injuries be admissible in court because they weren't able to verify that they weren't altered or modified. And 3, which is an interesting one, is a jury instruction saying that these pictures were modified or altered to show Amber's injuries. Obviously, that jury instruction would be very, very bad for Amber. I don't know what the court ruled. I haven't seen an order. I think we're going to start seeing this play out in trial itself, so keep you updated.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence.
She's checking on the jury.
You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Heard, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Heard,
I've seen
I
this
got
picture
the answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You
he's
disagree?
not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture. That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is Photoshop.
Ms. Heard, I have your answer. Thank you.
Go Camille.
This is the only photograph from her honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A.
Look at Johnny's breathing.
Going back to the Love Journal.
This looks more like the true victim.
Review of the same event, the night after Mr. Depp allegedly whacked you in the face so hard you thought he broke your nose.
This is a picture of me after he did whack me in the face.
The night after, right?
Yes, it is. I believe it was the night after, yes.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
I'm wearing makeup.
Your nose doesn't appear to be injured in any of these pictures, does it, Ms. Heard?
That's why I'm wearing makeup.
Right. And makeup covers up swelling, right?
Makeup will not cover up swelling. Ice will, though.
Ice will cover up swelling?
Ice reduces swelling. Normally, the swelling after that kind of injury is not as bad as you might imagine, and for me, it wasn't that bad. I have a picture of it underneath the makeup. That's how I know how to reference it.
A picture you haven't produced or shown
I
to
did.
this jury, right, Ms. Heard?
I produced everything.
But you haven't shown it to this jury.
I would very much like to. It's not my job.
Oh, that's liquor. That's liquor.
And then if you want to cover up a bruise, you obviously put foundation first, concealer, and then on top of that, I used a bruise kit. Not a bruise kit, it's a theater makeup kit, a color corrector.
Mr. Depp mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning.
Are you dating Johnny Depp? It's all over the internet. Can you set the record straight?
I didn't call 911. I didn't call the police. I refused to cooperate with them to protect Johnny. I protected Johnny. I didn't call them once and I didn't call them twice. I didn't rough up the place. I cleaned up the place. I didn't even know the second cops were coming. If I wanted to get something from him, I wanted to hoax Johnny, why wouldn't I cooperate with the police? Wouldn't I say something to the police? Wouldn't I do more damage to the house and than just knock over the things that you saw pictures of? It makes no sense.
What just happened? Why is his lawyer team leaving? Hey, what's happening? Can somebody tell me what just happened? There's a bunch of people moving out of the court too. Like, this is bizarre. Something's definitely going on. I wonder if they got a threat or something. No, I mean, they got a threat, but everybody was like, Amber can stay.
That's what you said. And you know what? What was that?
I love being a trial lawyer, but man, being a trial lawyer or a party in a case where the whole world's watching and you can't get away with anything without people catching it.
This might ruffle some feathers, and if it does, frankly, that's okay. Let's talk about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, shall we? She said yesterday on the stand that the memes and the negative press that she's been receiving is an orchestrated smear campaign. The fact of the matter is the reason so many people are standing behind Johnny Depp at this point is because so many of us have experienced an Amber Heard in our life. That person who can do whatever they want to you, say whatever they want to you, treat you like absolute garbage, but the very minute that you call them out on it, you're at fault. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are accountable for your actions. We are not dumb. We know right from wrong. In fact, your behavior gives a lot of us flashbacks. There's a lot of talk about how horrible this must be for people who have suffered abuse to watch. And you know what? That's absolutely true. That's a whole nother video. But on top of that, let's talk about the people who have dealt with a narcissist. We are all having flashbacks. You don't get to create a false narrative and then demand that the rest of us fall in line and accept it as reality.
Medical records missing a lot of things.
Yeah, but it doesn't document any physical injuries.
Doesn't seem to be documenting anything.
Probably because there was nothing to document, right, Ms. Heard?
I disagree with you on that.
At what point in time did your relationship with Mr. Depp take a romantic turn?
After I had moved to Hollywood.
Next question. Next question.
Yeah, okay. I don't have any more questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. All right. Ma'am, you can have a seat next to your attorney, okay? You can go ahead and have a seat next to her. That's fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our afternoon recess then for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research, okay? To deal with this issue, so I want to make sure we're all prepared to get that done at that time frame, okay?
Understood, Your Honor.
All right,
Yes.
great. Anything?
Your Honor, I just want to make clear, we haven't seen what they sent until they sent it today. So
Okay,
we've been
that's
trying
fine.
to meet and confer about this for a week and have.
I'm not
made no
interested in
progress.
anybody's finger pointing, but I understand, but we'll just go forward from here, and if I can get them Thursday morning, that would be fantastic, okay?
Understood.
All right,
Thank you,
great.
Your Honor.
All right, have a good evening, and we'll see you in the morning, okay?
As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet.
Everyone in the courtroom in Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial seems to be sick today. Can people please step outside of the courtroom if they're gonna be coughing like that? I don't need to have a 14-day pause because someone freaking got COVID and now I need to wait for this freaking trial to start over again and I need my life back, okay? I need my life back.
Whitney, according to Jennifer Howell's declaration, told her that she thought that Amber Heard was going to kill Johnny Depp. So I think that's going to be some powerful testimony. She said Whitney Enriquez told her a totally different story about that incident and that it was Amber Heard who was the person who actually punched Johnny Depp that night, not the other way around. That backs up the account of not only Johnny Depp, but his bodyguard, Travis McGivern. So her name was brought up, Dave Ehrenberg, in testimony and cross-examination of Whitney Enriquez by Depp's team. And we're all like, oh, I hear Jennifer Howell and I knew exactly what they were talking about. So we think she's coming.
Is that the statement you released, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
Your Honor, I move to admit the statement and the article as redacted.
Objection, hearsay.
It's her statement.
This is not her statement. This is some.
She just testified, Your Honor,
said
that it's her
it's her
statement.
statement.
Her spokeswoman responded in a statement. The language that follows the statement you released.
Objection, hearsay, spokeswoman. It's not her.
A spokesperson is an exception, Your Honor. Before we ask the next question, I'll just hand you a copy of this one. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I said. Your Honor, the witness can testify as to whether this is a full statement or not.
The witness can't do. We have the right to be able to see the document.
All right.
Is there anything inaccurate in that statement, Ms. Heard?
No.
I'm going to move to admit.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation.
I'll overrule the objection.
Objection to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. That.
Okay.
It's a actual. literally testified to it in court.
I'll overrule objection.
When Mr. White testified, the payments were all made on schedule.
I'm going to object to her testifying to what Mr. White testified to. It's improper.
The entirety of your divorce settlement was donated to charity. End quote.
That is correct. I pledged the entirety.
I'm going to move to strike everything after yes.
All right.
There's nothing to strike here.
No. Ms. Hurt, this is really inappropriate.
I'll sustain the objection and we'll just move forward.
Thank you.
Let's move forward.
Amber Heard lying again after they played a recording of her hitting Johnny Depp.
Again, that's you and Mr. Depp on that recording, right?
That's correct.
And Mr. Depp was hiding from you in the bathroom. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
Incorrect.
Well, Mr. Depp said on that recording, I opened the bathroom door when you were knocking on it. Doesn't he?
I don't know if he said that, and I didn't hear that.
And Mr. Depp said, when I was trying to close the door, I guess it scraped your toes. He says that, doesn't he?
Correct.
And then you kicked the bathroom door into his head, didn't you?
No, I didn't. And I
then you punched him in the
defended
jaw.
myself in that audio. You can hear it for yourself.
Right. And then you punched him in the jaw.
I also did not do that. I tried to make that clear on the audio tape, too,
So-
in futility.
So Mr. Depp said, you meant to punch me in the jaw, right?
Are you asking me what he said on the
Yeah.
on the recording? Yes, he said that.
And then you respond, I meant to hit you, didn't you?
As I explained yesterday, I was trying to get him off the door,
And you said, I remember, I did mean to hit you.
meaning the door. The door was on my feet. I
heard
reacted
this-
instinctively to that.
Yeah, you've heard this audio before, haven't you, Miss Heard?
Yeah, we've already had this trial before.
Yeah, it was played for you when you were deposed in 2016 in connection with your divorce from Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
That's one of the times I've heard it, yes.
Okay. So you've had plenty of time to think about how to respond to this recording, haven't you?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Well, let's take a look at
I think Amber Heard has lost this battle. There are so many inconsistencies in the things she said today that I'm just going to list them all out today. She keeps going back between I remember, I don't recall, I remember, I don't recall, and it's very convenient. She also changes up the verbiage in the language. Oh, I misspoke. What I meant was this. I was referring to this as that. Almost like she's backtracking her story because she knows she got caught in a lie. When she would be questioned and then there would be a pause after that, you could visibly see her nervous. She would start scratching herself, awkwardly sipping the bottle of water, looking around constantly. She just couldn't sit still. One of the most glaring things that I noticed was just how different her demeanor was today as compared to when she was telling her story. Before, she was timid and very emotionally in touch with herself, but today she almost sounded arrogant. You could visibly see her getting very, very upset about the kind of questions she was being asked. She did not like being challenged, and you could tell by her face. The psychologist that Johnny Depp's team brought out said that she does not blame herself for anything. She always puts the blame on someone else. And we saw that today because she refused to admit that she did anything wrong. She also had immediate answers to every single question that she was lying about. And when people are lying, they try to come up with more details and they try to speak really fast instead of taking their time and actually thinking about what happened. You could also tell she really wanted to maintain control over the conversation. Every time she was told to answer a question, she would continue talking because she wanted to say what she wanted to say regardless of the rules. Also, I found it really weird that she kept looking at the jury. If you are really ashamed or if you feel really, really powerfully about the things you went through, you're not going to make eye contact with people, especially not look back at them for validation over and over again. It almost seems like there are two different types of Amber Heards that we're presenting. And the more inconsistencies I see, the less I trust anything she says. Overall, you can really see her story start to crumble, both from what she's saying, how she's saying it, and on top of that, her body language just gives it away. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors, and 2 bedrooms. Isn't
Johnny
that right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Ms. Heard,
that
Ms.
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Ms.
that.
Heard, that's not my question. 5 bathroom doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on. That's what actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
I was there.
So that's a
I
no?
remember it. I knocked on 1 bathroom door. I came on the first night after he decided to take the bag of MDMA.
Ms.
And
Heard,
I went to check
Ms.
on
Heard,
him and see
I'm going to
if we
move to
could-
strike everything after I knocked on 1 bathroom door.
She can't do that. She's answering the question.
Not quite, so I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
The recording we just listened to. That's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
I didn't assault Johnny in Australia. I didn't assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is
In
incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared of him at all, were you?
This is a man who tried to kill me.
Judge tired off Amber Heard lawyers.
Your Honor, we'd like to call Tracy Jacobs.
This is the last straw for Amber Heard's lawyers. The judge has no time for their games. To be fair, listening to someone endlessly talk about something but end up having no point at all is totally exhausting. They aren't like Johnny Depp's lawyers who have everything they need ready, who prepared their witness statements beforehand, and who can put together a pretty solid foundation in court. It's like they don't want Amber to win, not even a single bit. On day 19 of the trial, they pissed off the judge once more. The lawyer first started by introducing their next witness, Tracy Jacobs. As she was saying this, she forgot to turn on her mic.
I'm sorry. One more time.
Your Honor, we'd like to call Tracy Jacobs.
Amber was the one who turned it on for her. The judge had to remind her to turn it on multiple times, and she did it before as well. Honestly, the judge looks like she's babying the lawyers with all these instructions. It's such a simple thing to do, yet they can't do it on their own. How do we expect them to defend Amber Heard properly? Their statements and arguments can't be that reliable either. We've seen how incompetent Amber's lawyers were the past few days. Once, her lawyer was questioning Johnny's ex-bodyguard, and he ended up objecting to his own question.
And while you were there on March 8th, correct?
Dr. Kipper told me he sustained an injury on one of his fingers.
Objection, hearsay.
You asked.
The entire court laughed at him after that. Then, on a different day, Johnny's lawyers were objecting to the things their witnesses say, which is actually the right thing to do, but Amber's lawyers wouldn't change their statements.
Objection, Your Honor. Leading
That's not offered to,
and hearsay.
Sustained.
Your Honor, it's prior consistent statements.
It's leading. It's sustained. Next question.
Okay. What, if anything, did you tell to anyone about the abuse?
Objection, Your Honor.
So the Depp team had to object on and on and on. Elaine even complained to the judge that she's wrong for sustaining the objection. Additionally, they wouldn't let Johnny finish his sentences during his cross-examination, which was totally rude. At least Johnny's lawyers even helped Amber understand their questions. That's so unprofessional of them. Do they really call themselves lawyers? Amber even lost it the other day. Rumors have it that she and her lawyer Elaine had a screaming match during one of the court breaks. People heard her say. Fans have theories that she may
as if Johnny Depp was the one that said it himself.
Yeah.
So it's they're trying to imply and trying to persuade the jury via a completely misleading argument that this attorney who is properly acting under privilege is somehow the mouthpiece of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, and it's absolutely ridiculous. It's what they're trying to do is imply that the non-answer, the you can't ask that because of privilege, implies that really it's Depp. And that is an improper inference. That is something that the court, that shouldn't be allowed. This was actually something that got the judge in Rittenhouse kind of hot under the collar with an analogous situation when they were trying to suggest that his asserting his right to not speak to the police implied that he had something to hide. It's the same thing. And I will tell you that, like, when I'm representing a client, sometimes you get calls going, hey, do you represent so-and-so? And my answer is always, I'm not answering that, because I don't answer if it's yes, and I don't answer if it's no, because either way, that's a violation of privilege, because I'm not going to play the 20 questions game. It's an issue. So it's not a question you can answer either way. Even if Depp did didn't say to put that out there, answering that question is itself a violation of privilege, because then it necessarily enters into that attorney-client communications by establishing a negative within it. You know,
And the craziest part of all of this is that Amber's claim, this is an essential element of the claim. They have to prove that Johnny Depp was the one making the statement. This is an essential element, and they're trying to prove it via, and I think Runkle and I agree on this one, they're trying to prove it by misleading the jury to extrapolate a fact that doesn't technically exist from openly misleading testimony. I mean, it drove me nuts, and I know it drove you nuts too.
Oh, it's basically trying to lead the jury into error, into legal error, and they should not be doing it. It really actually made me think a lot less of Elaine, because I have said on a lot of, I've said a lot of the time that I think she's normally a good lawyer, just stuck with a bad client, and she's, doing the best she can with it. This is greasy. This is behavior that I just do not approve of. And it's, it's like if you find out that your good friend, steals from church donation boxes. It's like
$10 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
After testifying that her Washington Post op-ed was about herself, not Johnny Depp, Amber Heard faced cross-examination from Camille Vaquez. And man, Camille put Amber's credibility to the test and got her to admit to perjury. Yes. Okay, let's just get right to it, cause this is crazy. Transcript.
So in this October 2018 interview, you said that you had, quote, donated, end quote, your entire divorce settlement to charity, right?
That's correct.
And in fact, your exact words were, quote, $7 million in total was donated to, I split it between the ACLU and the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. And you say this because you, quote, wanted nothing, end quote.
That is correct.
But you hadn't donated your entire $7 million settlement to charity at that point, had you?
That's incorrect.
Sitting here today, Ms. Heard, you still haven't donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity. Isn't that right?
Well, Amber tried to explain herself at that point, but Camille stopped her right on her tracks and told her to answer her question. Like, it really started heating up in court at that point. Anyway, she continued by asking,
sitting here today, you have not donated the $7 million, donated, not pledged, donated the $7 million divorce settlement to charity.
I use pledge and donation synonymous with one another.
But I don't. Ms. Heard, I don't use it synonymously.
That's how donations are paid.
Ms. Heard, respectfully, that's not my question. As of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the ACLU. Yes or no?
I have not yet.
And as of today, you have not paid $3.5 million of your own money to the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, correct?
I have not yet. Johnny sued me.
After that response, Camille hit Amber with one fiery question after another. And after a bit of back and forth, she actually got Amber to confirm that she actually lied under oath. Take a look.
You testified under oath, quote, the entirety of my divorce settlement was donated to charity, end quote. That statement wasn't true.
It is true. I pledged the entirety to charity.
The statement...
When you say you buy a house, you don't pay for the entire house at one time. You pay it over time.
That statement isn't true today, as you sit here today, is it?
It is true. I pledged the entirety.
But you didn't donate it.
Unfortunately...
You didn't donate it. It's a yes or no.
I haven't been able to to fulfill those obligations.
So that's a no, right, Ms. Heard?
I made the pledge. I want to be very clear. I pledged the entirety. I haven't been able to fulfill those pledges because I've been sued.
Well, Amber had pledged to donate the full amount to charity, and she testified that she had been unable to fulfill her pledge because Depp sued her for $50 million. However, on cross-examination, Camille also got her to admit that she had received the full $7 million from Depp months before he filed the lawsuit. meaning she had the ability to pay the donations months before the lawsuit, but she did not. Of course, followers on social media were having a field day with that cross-examination, with people posting comments like, "They got her. Amber Heard committed perjury in the UK." And Amber Heard needs to use a dictionary and find the definitions of the words pledge and donated. They are not the same. Perjury is illegal. Yes, Camille proved AH lied under oath in the UK. Amber Heard admitted today that she didn't pay the money to
Now, you were asked whether you had consulted a medical doctor about any problems with your nose, correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated that you, in fact, had after the divorce.
Objection leading.
Did you or did you not consult an ENT after the divorce?
Objection leading.
Did you produce medical records to the defendants relating to this?
Objection leading.
I'll sustain the objection.
Thank you.
Leading. Next question.
Your Honor, witness could be instructed not to answer until I lodge my objection.
Wait for the objection, please.
Could we bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1077? Do you recognize this document?
My screen is black. Oh, sorry. Yes, I do.
And could you tell us what it is?
That's the what my ENT, the ears, nose, and throat doctor, told me was.
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
All right. When there's objection, please stop talking. Thank you. All right. I'll sustain the objection as to hearsay.
Okay. What, if any, you were asked if you had, it was suggested that you had not produced this in discovery. Is that true?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Your Honor, she absolutely did that.
It's leading. It is leading question, though. I'll sustain the objection as to leading.
What, if anything, did you do to produce medical records to the defendant, to the plaintiff in this case?
I turned over all of my devices, and they had Johnny's team had a third party or someone they selected as a third party go and pull all relevant documents from those devices, which I handed over.
Do you know how many were handed over?
Hundreds of thousands, I believe. Maybe.
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
Okay. All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
And what, if anything, did you produce to the plaintiff in connection with your consultation with an ENT specialist relating to your nose?
Objection, leading.
Sustain.
Foundation, hearsay.
What if any? It's not the cure-all. It's sustained.
When did you see an ENT specialist?
2017 or 2016 or 17.
And as a result of that consultation, what did you learn about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
I'm not asking her to tell what they said.
No, I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, production did you make to the plaintiffs of your medical records with the ENT?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
If you only have foundation.
Do you know whether the medical records from your EMT were produced in discovery?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation calls for speculation.
I'm asking.
Overruled if she does.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall? I'm trying. What, if anything, did the medical records reflect about your nose?
Objection, Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustain the objection.
Do you have injuries to your nose?
Yes.
Please describe those to the jury. I have
I'm going to object
scar
to
tissue.
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for hearsay and lack of foundation
Overruled.
and improper expert opinion.
Well,
And she can certainly testify too.
we'll see where it goes. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a significant amount of scar tissue in my nose.
Objection, Your Honor.
I'll sustain the objection.
What, if any, difficulty do you have breathing?
Objection, leading.
What, if anything? And that does cure him.
It doesn't, but I'll overrule the objection.
Thank you. Do you remember the
I
question?
have a significant amount of trouble breathing at night, and I've been putting off having surgery for it.
Now, you were asked about December 15, 2015, and Ms. Vasquez suggested that you did not report the abuse or the injuries to Aaron Filati. Do you recall that?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading.
Yes. I'm entitled to go into what Ms. Vasquez is.
The objection is leading. I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Did you report, what, if anything, did you report to Aaron Filati about the abuse you sustained on 12/15/2015?
Objection, leading and hearsay.
Do you have a drinking problem, Johnny?
Objection calls for hearsay.
A different question, Mr. Depp.
Yes. Let's let him object to another one. For him to cook. That's hearsay, I guess.
He got it.
Okay, all right, well then.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes, sir.
Did I read that right?
You certainly did, yes.
Did I read that right?
Yes, you did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did.
Did I read that right?
You did, sir.
Did I read that right?
You continue to read them right, yes.
You were drinking pretty heavily.
Were you there?
You poured yourself a mega pint of red wine, correct?
A mega pint?
Yeah. We're going to fast forward in time a little bit, Mr. Depp.
Yes, I can feel it. He'd had a conversation with Ms. Heard.
Hearsay, Your Honor.
He said, yes, they had. Okay. And it appears that Ms. Heard had told...
Hearsay, Your Honor.
I'm not sure.
This is apparently a statement by Ms. Heard.
Described to Ms. Heard that...
I'll move to strike this as hearsay, Your Honor.
Yes, yes, I looked at papers. Maybe they're hearsay papers. October is 2 months before December. That's correct.
This was a document that you signed as part of your divorce proceedings, correct?
That's my signature indeed, yes.
Okay. Mr. Depp, that is your signature on the right, correct?
Yes, it is.
Dated August 15th, 2016, right?
That's what it says, yes.
And this is this is a document you signed, right?
For the third time, that is my signature, yes. Sir.
Go to paragraph 27, please. And that was a document you signed in August of 2016, correct?
Is that the same one that I signed 3 times before? Yes,
Yeah.
that's the fourth.
Well, I wanted to make clear that you signed that in the summer.
I once gave Marilyn Manson a pill so that he would stop talking so much. I was going to end up with a very ugly situation with Amber. So
Mr.
I
Depp,
doubled up
with respect,
the,
trying to respect the court's time and the jury's time, that was not my question. My question was
I
simply,
understand. When
you
you
would
take
agree,
5 minutes to look for a
you would agree.
document.
Well, let's do it this way. Let's pull up Exhibit 500, please.
Yes, I'd like to see who I lied to.
And a very different thing from what you texted Paul Bettany, correct?
Again.
Okay. So well then let's do this. So is it your testimony that right after you cut your finger off, that right after, I won't give you anything to argue with me yet, right after you sustained an injury to your finger?
Sean Bailey, who was the number 3.
Objection, hearsay.
I don't know yet. I'll overrule it at this point.
Thank you.
May I continue, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. just basically said in the...
Objection, hearsay.
Your
What
Honor,
Sean Bailey said.
this is about him
It's in
learning
an
about this. It's
article.
not for the truth.
Yes, I'll try again. Sean Bailey was quoted as saying that...
Objection, hearsay. It's entitled Johnny Depp. Friends and family seriously concerned about him. Here's why.
Yes,
Correct?
how did they know?
Did I read that correctly?
You did. Who's Alison Boshoff and how does she know?
Did I read that right?
You did, reportedly.
The next
These are
article,
all hit
also
pieces.
from May
These
10,
are drags,
2017.
sir.
Mr.
This
Depp,
is a pathetic attempt.
Mr. Depp, please just respond to the question that I'm asking you. Did I read that right?
You read that very, very well.
The next one, Hollywood Reporter. Did I read that correctly?
Reports say, this is hearsay.
June
is it not?
21st, 2018. You didn't want her acting. You wanted to control her career, correct?
Objection, compound.
That's
hold
patently
on,
untrue,
Mr.
and it's a
Mr.
great
Depp,
guess.
sir. All right, yes, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Sorry.
We can move on. You're complaining about her ambition in this text to her, to Dr. Kipper, correct?
I'm realizing that her ambition is far stronger than her supposed feelings for me, yes. At the age of 12, finding the only thing that gave me peace, which is playing the guitar, very unlikely. Why didn't I start lopping off digits when I was 13?
Just the way it was worded. Now, Miss
Based on the
We'll just take a look at the
accusations
next
that she
exhibit, Mr.
brought.
Depp.
I'm sorry, I was talking. Is that all right?
You had answered my question. We'll take a look at the next exhibit. Thank you.
As long as you're happy, sir.
Last week, Mr. Rottenborn asked you about a quote where you said you wouldn't come back to the Pirates franchise for $300 million and a million alpacas. Do you remember that?
I do. I'm so pathetic when it comes to knowing what movies I've done. I'm sorry. I just, I don't watch them. I feel better not watching them. What was the question again?
How many?
I have order in the court, or I will have you removed. Understood?
Yes.